So we all have these AI coding assistants now, right? They're totally changing the game. But are you really getting the most out of them? If you think it's all about writing that one perfect prompt, well, you're missing a massive piece of the puzzle. Today, we're going to talk about how to give your AI partner the project-specific context it desperately needs to go from just a generic tool to a real collaborator.
You've been there. We've all been there, right? You ask your AI for help, and it spits back this chunk of code. It looks right, but it has absolutely zero idea about your project's architecture, your internal APIs, or your database schema. It's a confident, plausible-sounding, and completely useless answer. So frustrating.
So, what is going on here? For a long time, the answer seemed simple: prompt engineering. The whole art of crafting that perfect, magical instruction. But we're hitting a wall, and we're realizing that this approach has a major, fundamental flaw.
And this, right here, illustrates the whole problem perfectly. Prompt engineering is all about behavior. It's telling the AI how to act. Things like act as a senior Go developer or format your output as a JSON object. But context engineering, that's about information. It's about telling the AI what it needs to know to even get the job done right in the first place.
And this is the absolute kicker. No amount of fancy wording, no clever prompt can magically teach the AI about your specific, unique codebase. If the AI doesn't know that your company has an internal user service library, it's just going to make one up based on 1,000 other examples it saw during training. It's guessing, and that's not what you want. This realization is sparking a huge shift in how we think about these AI assistants. We're moving away from just talking at the AI and towards strategically sharing information with it. So, yeah, welcome to the context revolution. And you can see this shift happening in real time. I mean, just a little while ago, back in 2023, prompt engineering was the hot new skill everyone was talking about. But now, as we're trying to use these tools for real, complex projects, it's becoming super clear that prompting alone just doesn't cut it. The new key skill, the thing that will separate the pros, is mastering context. Okay, so what is context engineering exactly? The definition's right here. It's the discipline of building systems that pull from all over the place, your code, your docs, your databases, to feed the AI the right information at the right time. It's not about one single prompt. It's about creating a curated, intelligent environment for the AI to work in. Now, what's really interesting is what context actually means here. It's not just your question, it's everything the model sees before it starts writing in response. That includes your prompt, for sure, but also the system instructions, code snippets you provide, the history of your conversation, and even what tools the AI can use. It's the whole information package. I love how the engineers at Anthropic put it. It's the art and science of curating what will go into the limited context window. You got to think of it like an attention budget. You only have so much space to get the AI's attention, so you have to be super strategic about what information you put in there to keep it focused and stop it from getting lost or overwhelmed. Okay, that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in the real world? How does context engineering play out when you're actually, trying to ship code? Let's take a look. At the most basic level, if you're a solo developer, you're probably already doing a version of this. When you have the right files open in your IDE so the AI can see them, or when you copy and paste a function signature into the chat before you ask your question, that's you manually giving your AI pair programmer the context it needs to help. Now let's scale that up to a team. This is where it gets cool. An AI assistant can become this living, breathing mini reference manual. So when someone on your team asks, hey, how does our authentication middleware work? A context-engineered system can automatically go find the relevant code files and internal docs to give a perfect project-specific answer. And then, at the whole organization level, this becomes a massive strategic advantage. The AI is plugged into everything: internal code repositories, design documents, API specifications, you name it. A developer can ask it to generate a new database migration, and it automatically pulls the latest schema and follows company best practices to make sure the code is 100% consistent and correct. But of course, it's not always that straightforward, and as this becomes a more formal skill, you have to know the common traps, the things that can totally wreck your efforts to provide good context. So let's dive into what you need to avoid. This quote right here, this says it all. When your AI assistant messes up, your first thought shouldn't be to blame the model. More often than not, the problem isn't the AI's intelligence. It's that we didn't give it the right information to succeed. It's a context failure. So let's break down the big mistakes. First, just relying on a prompt and hoping for the best. Big mistake. The opposite is just as bad, overloading the AI with tons of irrelevant junk. People call this context rot, and it can seriously confuse the model. You also have to watch out for context that's formatted badly, or even worse, is just plain out of date. And finally, and this is a huge one, security. Please never ever paste sensitive code, API keys, or credentials into a third-party AI service.
All right, so now that we know what not to do, how do we get this right? Let's walk through a strategic playbook you can start using today to really nail both your prompting and your context.
I absolutely love this analogy because it just makes everything click. The prompt, that's your destination. It tells the AI where you want to go. But the context, that's the map. That's what gives the AI the information it needs to actually get there. You need both. A destination without a map is useless.
Here is your game plan, broken down into 6 simple steps. 1. Always start with a crystal clear instructional prompt. 2. Provide focused, super relevant context. 3. Use tools that can help gather that context for you automatically. 4, and this one's critical, keep it lean. Don't drown the AI. 5. Iterate. See what works, what doesn't, and refine your inputs. And finally, number 6. If you're on a team, create clear guidelines so everybody is working the same way.
And remember, the goal here is surgical precision. You're not trying to dump the entire project into the prompt. You are trying to find the smallest possible set of high-signal information, those few powerful, relevant pieces of code or docs that will get you exactly the result you need. It is always, always about quality over quantity. So that really leaves us with one final question to think about. Next time you sit down with your AI assistant, ask yourself this. Are you just tossing prompts over the wall and hoping for the best? Or are you actively engineering the conditions for success by providing the right information at the right time? Because really, that difference is everything.